Hey guys, it's the coach, and with the spring merger on the horizon, the NFL and college football season this year halfway over, I thought it would be a good time to look at possible QB prospects for the spring league. I have a list of 10 guys, and using the current draft trend of the last 5 years of 11.4 QBs getting drafted a year, I made a list of guys who I think won't get drafted and most likely won't get a great chance in camp. With that being said, they're going to have to rely on spring football to keep their football careers going. So without further ado, let me give you my list of 10. Alright, starting off my list with number 10, I have John Matoka. He is the Division II all-time passing yards leader, an absolute legend for Colorado School of Mines. He even won their version of the Heisman last year at the D2 level. John has put up amazing numbers with over 13,000 career college passing yards, over 150 passing touchdowns. He's also sneaky good at running the football. I mean, not at like the NFL level, but you know, he could get it done at the spring league. You know, sneaky athlete. I think the spring league could offer him a chance to show that he can play at a high level. It would, in my opinion, kind of have the biggest upside on the list of guys you're going to see, because we just really don't know. D2 to D1 is a big jump. He's a good player. He's put up good numbers. I would love to see him get an opportunity like a, Luis Perez, where he can kind of showcase, hey, I'm legit. I play at the D2 level. I can play at this next level. So he comes in at number 10. Number 9, we have Spencer Sanders. After being a 4-year starter at Oklahoma State, transferring to Ole Miss has to be one of the dumbest transfers in football terms. I don't know if it was more educational purposes, but if he did it for football, what was he doing? He's been a backup all year, has gotten little opportunity to see the field. I know Ole Miss is winning, but man, he was electric at Oklahoma State. I know he had his ups and he had his downs. He's a fun dual threat quarterback, but to leave Oklahoma State was a big mistake. But I do think he'd be a fun pickup for the spring league. His stock is way down. He's not even starting his senior year, not really getting opportunities. I don't really think he gets a chance in camp in an NFL team, so I think he could really use this opportunity in a spring league to really showcase his skills. He'd be a fun quarterback. I think he could possibly maybe be like a Teamu, where he can kind of showcase kind of that dual threat ability and really be a leader at this level. Alright, number 8, we have Hank Bachmeier. After 4 years at Boise State, Hank transferred to Louisiana Tech and is having his most efficient season at QB yet. A competitive and mentally tough quarterback who thrives in quick game and short gain offenses and has the intelligence and read progressions to make the throws needed, but overall has many inconsistencies and lack of arm strength. I think the arm strength is what keeps him from being considered anywhere close to an NFL prospect, but I think he can get away with it at the spring league level. I don't think he has the upside as a lot of these guys. Again, lack of arm strength, but he makes him a perfect target for the spring league. So I know a lot of those quarterbacks in the spring league do not have the arm strength, but would love to see him at the spring league level, and love to see him be able to show off his grit. Coming in at number 7, we have probably one of the bigger names on the list, Hanah Morai. I think 3 years playing at Oklahoma, but had very little playing time, very little opportunity. He's going to get a transfer to SMU, where he's going to have 2 electric years, light it up in the American, and he's going to transfer to Wisconsin this year, where it hasn't gone amazing for him, hasn't been the move he probably wanted. I think he fits the college journeyman perfectly, which doesn't really amaze you. There's a lot of college journeymen now, and he hasn't had the best of numbers. It's up and down kind of on his journey, so don't really know what he gets. I think this is a camp guy who gets an opportunity. Maybe he sticks around on a practice squad, maybe he gets let go. He's going to be one of those guys, in my opinion, and I think he'd be a great pickup for a spring league, and I think his best move would be in the spring league, because it gives him an opportunity to kind of work on some of what he lacks, which is inconsistency when it comes to throwing down the field. He puts too much air under a lot of his throws, so I think to be able to work with that, you need game time, and I think the spring league would be the best opportunity for him. Number 6, we have Phil Dracovic in his 6 seasons with 2 at Notre Dame, 3 at Boston College, and this year at Pitt. He has had a bad season at Pitt and is completing only 50.9% of his throws, which is absolutely terrible for a 6th-year senior. I know Pitt is not a good team, but you still expect more from this guy. This guy was at one time considered a first-round pick prospect, but that is far from it now. Sometimes he tugs his release point too far, causing his throws to drop early. He has stiff hips, unstable mechanics, so it's kind of why he's inaccurate. He's also going to turn 25 years old in November of his rookie D year, so that's not an upside. Old guy who's been around in college a lot. His numbers have gone down. To me, though, that means him a prime target for the spring league. I think there's some stuff there. If he can work on his mechanics and kind of figure it out, maybe he can recapture those kind of glory years at Notre Dame and Boston College. Number 5 really excites me, and that's Austin Reed. He's a former D2 national champion at West Florida, a 2-year starter at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky has struggled a lot more this last year, and his numbers have dipped, which kind of hurts him and kind of probably killed a lot of his buzz. But I think he's a camp body at least, and if he doesn't make it, he's a great addition to a spring league. His mechanics can be hit or miss as he struggles to remain consistent, but I think you can kind of get over sporadic accuracy. I think he has an arm that's kind of interesting and fun and lively, and I think he could be a really fun spring league quarterback. Jeremy Musa comes in at number 4. He played at Hawaii at Vanderbilt with limited playing time, but then last year he transferred to Florida A&M, where he has taken off and been one of the best FCS QBs. To me, he needs more starts and experience, and I think the spring league could offer him that opportunity to polish his game and see if he can make the jump to the next level. He possesses a nice combination of size, athleticism, and arm strength, and he sells the ball fakes effectively. Now, he just, to me, needs more experience and needs to play at a little bit of higher level. Not a knock on FCS, but when you're talking about FCS compared to Spring League and NFL, it's a big jump. So I think Spring League, where you get playing time and opportunity, would be really good for him to kind of develop his game. All right, we're now into the final 3, and I have Keenan Slovis coming in at 3. 5 years in college with 3 in the USC, Pitt, and then a year at BYU this year. Every year he's gotten worse when it comes to his pass completion percentage. I thought he was going to be the next big thing after his freshman year at USC. I had high praise. I thought this dude was legit. I thought he was a lock to be a high-end first-round pick, and now we're here years later. He looks like he's going to go undrafted. Maybe best case scenario he gets a 7th-round draft pick, but I think he goes undrafted, camp body. If I was the Spring League team, I would take a chance to see if he can recapture the old form that he had back in his USC days. He has the talent. He was a high recruit. I think he'd be a perfect fit to add to a team. He plays with solid accuracy in short and medium areas and has the arm strength to make any throw. The talent's there. Can you recapture it, and can you find a way to bring back the success? All right, coming in at number 2, we have Curtis O'Rourke, the younger brother of Nathan O'Rourke, one of the best Canadian produced quarterbacks of all time, currently with the Jags. So Curtis is trying to follow his footsteps and make it to the NFL. This one's going to be tricky because I could easily see him sliding back up to the CFL if he doesn't get an opportunity. It makes sense, go back home. But maybe if his expectation is to make the NFL, take a chance. He spent 5 years at Ohio, 3 years as the starter, kind of had ups and downs and injuries and stuff like that. But he's one of the best MAC quarterbacks out there. 66.4% pass completion percentage in his career. Superb ball accuracy, placement at all 3 levels. Underrated athlete, kind of gets overlooked. And the ability to make every throw on the field. I think he's a sleeper prospect. Don't think he gets drafted, but if I'm the spring leagues, I'm swooping him up because he is a prime candidate for the CFL, and I think he could keep him in America. He could be a really big one. Best Canadian on this list, by the way. And last but not least, the journeyman of all journeymans, J.T. Dainels. This man has played at USC, he's played at Georgia, he's played at West Virginia and Rice. 6 years in college, 4 different teams, more than 9,000 yards passing, 66 TDs, 32 INTs. He takes too many sacks, but he's found some success with Rice, but looks like a guy who's just a tier below NFL caliber as this kind of 6-year man, journeyman college quarterback. I didn't know we'd ever get to this point where we're talking about journeyman college football quarterbacks, but I think he could be a solid spring league starter. Dude has potential, dude has ability. I mean, you went to USC, Georgia, you gotta have something there to go to those 2 programs and stick around for multiple years. So give the dude credit. He's found a way to carve out a career in college, and I think the spring league could be a good place for him, and I think he could be a big signing. People know about him. He has 4 different fan bases in his corner, so it could be a good signing. So those are my 10 spring league prospect quarterbacks that I like coming out this year. Let me know in the thoughts below. Do you agree, disagree with me? Leave a comment, and please subscribe. Peace.